Okay, so I've been in DEP now since January 4th of this year, 2013. Um, you have to meet with your recruiter at least twice a month. Uh, as far as my station goes, we meet on the first and third Tuesdays of every month. Sometimes we PT or, we just go through the basics of drill movements and marching and things like that, and just really working together and just doing everything as if we were out in the fleet, you know, with the camaraderie and everything like that, because it's really, really important. At no point in the Navy is it, every man for himself. We are shipmates, we're a team, and that's how it goes. So as when it comes to DEP, it's just really important to pay attention, to make sure you're studying your start guide, which you'll get once you sign your contract. It's very important to know your 11 general orders. It is very important to know your sailor's creed, your RTC maxim, learning the chain of command, collar devices, and it's a bunch that you need to learn. But it's really, really important to know your 11 general orders and your sailor's creed. And, being in DEP, your recruiters, I'm sure, are going to test you all the time on those things. And, it can result to punishment if you don't know them. So I suggest that you learn your 11 general orders of a century and your sailor's creed. And it's also cool now they have a Navy commercial that's out, where the sailors are actually reciting the sailor's creed, and it's pretty fucking awesome. Um, but being in DEP, it's just really cool. It makes me even more excited to get out there. Though I won't have the same shipmates, just knowing that Navy life can be similar to that. It's exciting. It just really makes you proud. And for me, I did a lot of research. Um, Watching YouTube videos and everything like that, and it really helps. It brings the nerves down and everything. And while you're in DEP, if you ever feel nervous, you can turn to your shipmates and you can ask them how they're dealing with things, and you guys can help each other when it comes to working out and getting physically in shape. You guys can help each other out with studying. um, your petty officers are there, but it's really a time for you to lean on each other and get the feel of what camaraderie is like, and just looking out for each other. With me being 28, I'm like the oldest one um, in DEP at my location right now, at my station right now. So, for me, it's really cool when I, see the high school kids all excited to be in the Navy, and those that are a bit younger than me. And for me, I want to do all that I can to help them succeed, because I never want to see anybody fail. I never like to see people get frustrated. And it's easy to get frustrated. It's easy to feel nervous. Um, One thing about joining the Navy and what you're going to hear while you're in DEP and you're waiting to go off to boot camp, a lot of family members and friends and just a bunch of naysayers are going to constantly be in your ear and start having you second guessing your choices. But my advice is to stay true to yourself. Don't don't let those people get you off track. You made a decision, you know what you want to do, you know how you will benefit from it. Don't let those people frustrate you from changing your life for the better. There's a lot of kids out here from the inner city. Even if you're from the suburbs, it doesn't matter. If you want to travel the world, you want education, you want a career, you want great benefits, you want, housing paid for, you want to be able to care for your children, help your family members. anything like that. You know, the Navy offers all of those things. And a lot of times, once you break it down to those family members and friends and all those other naysayers, they start to understand more. Like for me, my father was, I'm not going to say he wasn't supportive, but he wasn't jumping for joy either. And the more I talked about it, the more I told him how I benefit from it, the more I told him how sure I was about it, he began to come around and understand. And even at one point, he asked me, "Oh, well, how old do you have to be to join?" Pretty much saying that, you know, if he was younger, he would probably, you know, join as well. But, you know, that's the thing. Don't let it frustrate you. Because being in debt, you know, you're waiting for boot camp. And though you signed your contract, you can always drop out of debt and, you know, toss your contract. My advice is stick with it. Like, don't let anybody frustrate you. Like, just don't let them get under your skin like that. Stay focused. Stay true to yourself. Stay true to your decision. That's what your recruiters are here for. You know, you're supposed to be able to call them anytime, talk to them anytime about anything, especially if you start having doubts. And, you know, especially if you have people just in your ear trying to deter you. Don't let them do it. And reach out to your recruiters. Reach out to your other shipmates that are in debt with you. You know, because I'm sure everybody has a story. We all have stories. We're all joining for different reasons. Some of us the same reasons, but you know, we're just all gonna have different experiences coming from where we're from. So, you know, being in debt, just take full advantage of it, and you know, get used to being around people that you don't know. Get used to helping people that you don't know. Get used to working as a team and not as an individual. Get used to studying. Get used to physical training. For me, you know, I need motivation. I'm pretty much a procrastinator. So, you know, I work out here and there, but I know I need to work like out a whole lot more. It's not that I'm fat, because I'm not fat. I have a hoodie on. It looks kind of big. I'm not fat. I'm just not physically in shape. So I need to start running and things like that. And what I've done is, you know, hooked up with some of my shipmates. We agreed that we start, you know, running a few times a week. So, you know, you can get motivation from anybody. And to me, like working out with other people a lot of times makes it easier because you guys are all, you know, going for the same goal. Depending on your age, you need to check what your PRT stats are, depending on your age group. Like for me, since I'm 28, since I'm older, you know, my numbers for push-ups, sit-ups, and my mile-and-a-half run aren't as high as those that are younger than me. So check your PRT stats, see what your minimums and your maximums are. And for me, like, my advice is to at least shoot for good. Like, don't shoot for, you know, satisfactory, like barely making it. Like, shoot for good and above. That way, you know, with going into boot camp, there's a physical test and a written test when you first get there, which is why it's important to study your start guide, and it's important to be in some sort of physical shape prior to leaving, because with those, you can advance in pay grade if you're an E1 or E2. So if you pass the written test as well as the physical test, then you can be advanced in pay grade, which means more money. So don't shoot for the minimums. Always shoot to be better, and when you get better, then shoot to do even better. So just keep that in mind, that you can advance in pay grade when you get to boot camp. You can also advance in pay grade while you're in DEP. Like say you're an E1 or E2, you have people around your way or people that you went to school with or anything like that. If you get your recruiter, you know, 2 referrals, you can advance from E1 to E2. If you get your recruiter 4 referrals, you can advance from E1 to E3. so you have opportunities to advance in pay grade before you even leave. So that's why DEP is really cool, and DEP is super important because you can get all the groundwork laid prior to going to boot camp, so that you're not in boot camp and totally lost. Um, so just pay attention to detail. That's like the favorite line in the Navy, is to pay attention to detail. Like, it's really, really important. So while learning your general orders, don't change words around, because you need to recite them word for word, as well as your Sailor's Creed, RTC Maxim, um, the aircrafts and the chain of command. There's just so much to learn, but you can do it if you want. So just stay focused while you're in depth. Um, talk to your recruiters, talk to your family, try to get them to understand. If they don't, talk to your fellow shipmates. That's what they're there for. We're all one family, and that's all to it. So good luck with that. All right.